started on this little project just trying to learn more about my own father-in-law's wartime service. And as you can see, it's kind of grown into a little bit of a project and a ceremony here today. But I was trying to imagine what it was like for a 15-year-and-a-half-old boy from Cardigan Head to enlist in the Canadian Army. I often wondered about his basic training. It's like, what ship he traveled on to go over to England. And I tried to imagine the fear these young soldiers encountered when they entered a battlefield and when they saw other men, soldiers, pay the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. Some of these soldiers were wounded and some also became prisoners of war. But here in Cardigan, ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate that a lot of these veterans came home. They returned to civilian life. They became husbands, fathers, farmers, politicians, fishermen, building contractors. And they started new businesses with the skills that they learned, whether they were Army, the Navy, or the Air Force. And they hired a lot of people. Some of these businesses are still going today here in Cardigan. I have, and I know all of you have always looked up to our veterans for their valor, their dedication to service to their country, but also for the role they played in building our communities. The way they provided for their families, how they rallied together with the Legion members for support to build fire departments, how they lobbied for new schools for their children. It is these veterans that shape the communities we have here today. Cardigan always holds one of the largest Remembrance Day services in Kings County, and every year we see less and less veterans. I want our youth and our future generations to remember these veterans for their service to country and their community leadership. I want them to be able to know the names of these veterans and to remember their faces. And with today's technology, with digital imaging that we have and the new materials that can withstand the elements of being outside, we can transfer a 65-year-old picture to a banner. And this way, we can show here in Cardigan how proud we are of our veterans and that we will never forget them. What we tried to do here today is attach a picture to a name, and we took 65-year-old pictures, and we used the latest of technology and materials to transfer this picture onto a banner so that we in Cardigan here could display with pride all the veterans that lived in Cardigan and surrounding areas. The first phase of these banners will be placed on the Cardigan Bridge, and they'll stay there till just before Remembrance Day, and they'll be taken down, and the family members then can take them up to the Remembrance Day service on November the 11th. McDonald?
Thank you, Mike, and thank you all for coming today. It's so important, if we're going to forge a positive path forward, that we know from where we've come. And when we look around here in this wonderful Heritage Center, we see some physical artifacts of our past and some photos of what's gone on. But in fact, what has made Canada the greatest country on earth are the greatest people on earth. And those are the veterans who volunteered to go overseas to defend freedom. Peter McKay sent this message. Today, residents of Cardigan and from across PEI gather to remember and honor the services and sacrifices of our veterans. We recall when the absence of freedom and security rallied the very bravest of Canada's sons and daughters to defend our most sacred values and ideals in a faraway land. As Minister of National Defence, I've had the moving experience of visiting many of the battlefields where Canada's military history was forged, places where Canadians served with distinction, where they fought and died for freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. These battlefields serve as a reminder of the many times that Canadians have been there to assist those in need. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to the Cardigan Heritage Society, to Mike Currie and the community of Cardigan, for the Royal Canadian leadership, for their leadership and commitment to honor and remember our veterans in this most inspiring way. And it's signed by the Honorable Peter MacKay, Ottawa, 29th of September 2012. So congratulations to all of you for putting our veterans once again